What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is the only sports podcast. That's right, the only sports podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino.
How's it going?
There. How's it going today, Casino?
Pretty good. I'm just trying to work on a surprise guest for next Tuesday.
Ooh, surprise guest. But
I'm doing
today,
great, though. How about you, bud? How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. Except, as you can see, my allegiance has always been to Arizona iced tea, right? Always. It's always been to Arizona iced tea. Product placement. But for this podcast, I've always just been getting, and the echo is going to destroy me.
I told you never to wear those in the studio, which, by the way, we're back in the studio today.
For the first time since before the Super Bowl preview we did in this thing. We haven't been here since the last time we were in here, the Eagles hadn't won the Super Bowl. And now they have, and what a glorious day that was. But I'm sure we'll talk about that with the draft. When it comes to Arizona iced tea, we usually get peach tea. Thank you so much. We usually get peach tea, but peach tea has reduced the size of the can to half of what an Arizona iced tea can is, and then up the price by 50 cents. So from now on, Casino, the only sports podcast, only supports Arizona iced tea, and peach tea is banned from this show. So Casino's on a very strict diet. He's not drinking his.
Yeah. Trying to lose some weight. Again, if you've been watching the show, you know that. If you know me personally, you know that. Obviously, It doesn't show.
If you know him sexually, still unclear.
Still got that.
But we are speaking of sexually, Casino. Tonight, everybody's going to get wet at the 2025 draft. 2025 draft is tonight. Let's dive into it. But first, I have a question about this draft. Least hype draft you can remember in how long? Because for me, it feels like
this is such a weak draft.
It's
the only
bad.
thing good about this draft, I feel like, is going to be the trenches. You got your defensive line, your offensive line. I mean, besides that, this is weak.
Yeah,
this is weak. It's like even with Cam Ward going, who's going to go number one. I would have picked still like at least 5 quarterbacks last year before I picked him.
Yeah, all the experts this year have said that he would have been the 4th or 5th. He would have been fighting basically with Bo Nix to be like the next guy to go, and then Shedeur Sanders would have been a 2nd round pick. There's no way that 6 or 7.
Well, I mean, and last year wasn't that one of like the records for the most quarterbacks taken in the first?
Yeah, I believe so. So it might have been more, and then also, have you seen for some reason there is now projections? And again, let's just get this out of the way right off the bat. Draft predictions are stupid. There's no such thing as a draft expert. Everybody gets it wrong every year. And then we still, like Mel Kiper, is he what, 12 for 3,057? And we still listen to him on TV and just be like, oh, Mel Kiper, the draft expert, who nails 12 out of the first 2 rounds every year. Like, get out of here.
So I pretty much, when it comes to the draft, I just try to focus on roughly who's going to be around during my team and be like, who would I like if available during that time?
Yes. And so let's dive into that.
Whoa, you missed your horrible Segu right there.
What?
You could have been like, and now Segu, or with further ado. Come on, man.
That's true.
You get in the studio and you get all your own antics.
I'm so upset about the peach tea thing. But your team, Casino, obviously my team's not picking till the end of the round. I don't know if you heard or not. But the Super Bowl champion gets the last pick of each round.
Yeah, I know. I was used to that for a long
time. Yeah. Which also, speaking of end of this episode, speaking of Casino's team, we're going to be doing our, how did I word it? I worded it as our top 10 favorite players that were drafted by our team.
Yeah.
So
this
not,
is not the top 10 best drafted by our team. It's the top 10 of our favorite drafted players. Also
not our top 10 favorite players on our team, because if you love Randy Moss, he wasn't drafted by the Patriots, so he can't be in this list.
My favorite Patriot player of all time is not on this list. So
who is that?
What?
Who's your favorite player of all time?
Teddy Bruschi.
Oh, he wasn't drafted by the Patriots? No. Oh, who was he drafted by?
I don't know. That's a good call.
But let's talk about your team and what they're going to do in the draft this year. The consensus, pretty much of all the draft experts and people who just watch football.
Oh, he was drafted by the Pats. Oh shit.
So
That never came up
this-
on my list.
So how about he can be your number 10 because your number 10, spoiler alert, was not drafted by
That's
the
fair.
Patriots. There you go.
I can't believe I didn't know Teddy Bruschi wasn't drafted by the Pats.
Wow. And he calls himself a fan. But
Well, so
we
essentially,
have-
dude, so I could remember all the players that were drafted, right? I was 6 when he was drafted, okay?
that's
So
true.
to remember all these, I typed in top players drafted by the Patriots, right? Like, and did multiple pages just to see all the players that were actually drafted that had big names, right? And
He wasn't on there?
no, which is kind of mind
Oh
fucking
man,
blowing.
whoever made that
No, again,
really
there was
hated
like
Bruce.
I went to like 4 sites and they had different names in almost all the 4 sites. Once it got past like 5, but yeah. So we'll put him on number 10. Spoiler.
But for this draft this year, the consensus pick right now is that Cam Ward goes number 1. He did I believe he did like a video game live stream or something like that, where he was talking about how the Titans have the best coach in the league and the best weapons in the league, and Calvin Ridley was better than AJ Brown. Just things either two types of people say: a insane person who doesn't know football, or a person about to be drafted by that team. So I'm assuming he's going to be drafted by the Titans, because if he does not get drafted by the Titans, then he is a insane person for those hot garbage takes. But next up, right at pick number 2 is where we then start seeing a bunch of different players going to the Browns, because again, the Browns need everything. The Titans, again, if they get a quarterback in there, I feel like the Titans next year in a weak AFC South, why could they not go 9-7 and win that? What other team in the AFC South is good? Jaguars are garbage. They're restarting. Duval. What is it? Then
That was unplanned, by the way.
then the Colts. Who knows what's going on with the Colts? Anthony Richardson looks like a bust already. And then the other team in the AFC South, the Texans, I mean, they were a 9-7 win team last year in the sophomore slump for CJ Stroud. So Titans, all of a sudden they get Cam Ward in there. He's like CJ Stroud was a couple years ago in his rookie year, or best case scenario, Jaden Daniels. Titans could be surprise pick next year. However, the Browns, do you put your manhood on the table right now, Casino? There's 3 projected picks that keep getting tossed around for the Browns. A, Travis Hunter, B, Abdul Carter, or C, Shedeur Sanders.
Abdul Carter.
Oh, yeah. I think it's got to be Abdul Carter, right?
It's going to Carter.
But see, this is, and I think it was Dan Orlovsky.
They make dumb decisions in that organization. So.
Well, this is my whole thing, and Dan Orlovsky actually made this point. So shout out to Dan Orlovsky for actually making a good point. You still eat peanut butter cups. Weird. Have you seen how he eats peanut butter cups?
No.
He eats around the chocolate just to get to the peanut butter in a peanut butter cup. It's weird. Watch that video. It's weird. But they so for he made a good point, which he said Brian Daboll with the Giants is on the hot seat. Obviously, Stefanski is on the hot seat. With the Browns, it feels like Stefanski is more a product of their bad decisions, whereas the Giants, it's like Daboll's been there for what, 6-7 years at this point. It feels like I think they've given him enough time to like turn that thing around, and then he just can't. But he made a good point where a coach's job has never been saved by a great edge rusher, right? I told you, it's a weird video, right?
What's the point?
Just eat peanut butter. That's, I don't know. It's weird.
He's spitting it back into the container.
I know. I don't know if it's to get I think it's just to get just to get the peanut butter, or just to get the chocolate. I don't know. But again, if you hate one of the 2 main things in something, why are you eating that thing? Right? It's weird. It's
like
creepy.
people with fucking Oreos.
Well, at least then you at least can just get the cream and throw away the cookie. If you were like,
You just want the cream.
Yeah. But if you just wanted the cookie and no cream, and you're just eating around the edges and then threw it away, you'd be a serial killer. You'd be a psychopath. I don't like how you're looking at me when I say this.
Cookies and cream. It's got it pretty funny there. But
Also, one of the alternate titles for this podcast.
I love Oreos.
Or they're the best.
They're outside of a chocolate, just a plain chocolate chip cookie. They're my favorite cookie.
You know what? Next up is going to be top 10 cookie lists, and I feel like we'd be super compatible on that because I agree with everything you just said, except regular Oreo or double stuffed.
Regular.
Okay. Never mind.
No, just regular. Come on.
But I'll tell you what, my son wanted Oreo Thins, and I was like, whatever. They were on sale. Oreo Thins. What regular Oreos thinks it is. Thins are delicious. Perfect amount of cookie and cream, but we're getting off topic here, Casino.
Yeah.
That's what happens in the studio shows. Dan Orlovsky, weird Reese's Cup eater, said that no coach has ever been saved from being fired by an elite edge rusher. So that if by that logic, you're the Browns, do you take a risk with, because both these guys have been projected as either taking Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. If the Browns take Travis Hunter, the Giants are going to take Abdul Carter.
Right. You think that? I agree with that. But apparently there's been another strong push for the Giants taking Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've also seen weird mock drafts that also show the Giants taking Genty, kind of trying to replace the great running back that left. And oh shit, where did he go? Oh, he went to the Eagles and just won a Super Bowl with Saquon Barkley. But again, I've just seen it. I feel like a month ago it was like, oh, it's always been Cam Ward 1. And then 2 or 3 were either Shedeur Sanders, and then it was Travis Hunter, and then it was Abdul Carter, all within that top 4, right? And now all of a sudden it's like Shedeur Sanders. I've seen mock drafts and again, draft experts who have said that Jackson Dart is going to go ahead of Shedeur Sanders. And then there is just this.
You know what? It's his attitude, man.
Well, that's the thing.
He thinks that he just runs the show because of his name.
Well, also, again, but see, I see so many things where it's like, oh, he had the worst interview someone's ever had. That's what somebody said, where they do the meet the players before the draft interviews. And they're like, oh my God, it was the worst interview we've ever had. But then it's also just people again, and you can immediately discredit that by just being like, oh, somebody doesn't like this kid, whatever. It's just one anonymous source. But then you see him in interviews and they're like, what is the best? Did you see that interview where they were like, what is the best quarterback wide receiver combo you've ever in NFL history? Okay. So obviously he was like Brady and Gronk, Patrick Mahomes and
wide receiver though. Come on.
Well, I think he just said pass catcher or whatever.
Oh.
But then he was and then his third one was, and then who's ever going to be throwing the ball in Pittsburgh to Pickens and Metcalf, because he's projected to go to the Steelers. It's just did
you see Pickens? Apparently he just unfollowed the Steelers on his social media.
Oh, well, he's always been a diva.
Yeah.
It's
I don't think
it has,
things. I don't think it has anything. It's not going to mean anything. I think he was just doing it to be a dick.
Well, also, or maybe they told him he's being traded draft night.
Maybe
that's to move up. I mean, the Steelers, again, they're drafting at 21. And for some reason, I keep seeing them projected as, moving up, drafting all these quarterbacks. So the consensus right now is that 1 and 2 is Cam Ward. And then they put Abdul Carter, which you've already talked about for the Browns. If you get Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett, it's going to be real fun to watch all the Browns games next year where the score is always 14-10. And the Browns have 10 points. They can't score anything, but nobody's scoring on them. So they're just one of those bad teams that has the 32nd ranked offense and the 4th best defense. What?
That's a good call. I mean, because this was 19 hours ago that it came out that George Pickens unfollowed the Steelers on Instagram. An interesting, this is from Yahoo Sports, an interesting move from the receiver that will be going into his final year of his rookie contract. He signed with the team when he was drafted in the 2nd round into 2022. And then it goes on to say that the move could be a teaser for what tomorrow's night draft could look like.
So
you might be hitting the nail on the head there.
I mean, well, there is also a list.
What a diva, though.
There's a list of players that are also on the trade docket. And again, I feel like you can just put everybody's name up there, right? And just be like, it's one or all of them. Also, a thing I will say, we have given the NBA and NHL, or not NHL so much, but NBA, well, actually, yeah, NFL or NHL during the regular season. We gave a bunch of shit to the NFL for how they did games, right? Like, oh, go to this app. With the NHL and NBA, it's like, oh, we're blocking out these games. Doesn't even matter that it's a playoff game, right? Like dumb shit. I will say with the NFL, they put Super Bowl on everything, right? You can watch it for free anywhere. And tonight you can also watch.
Put it on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I mean they do. Yeah. Tonight you can watch the NFL draft for free as well on Fubo. So there you go. You can watch it for free,
but you have to have a Fubo account.
Yeah, but I mean it's one of those things where you have to but you don't have to sign up for the thing or whatever. It's on there free. You just have to like put in your email or whatever. But still, if you want to watch it, why not? It's better than paying for NFL Network or ESPN or any of that shit.
Yeah, I ain't doing any of that shit. I'll be at work tonight. It'll be on TV.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll have the Knights game on tonight too, though.
But see, so these are, I'm at USA Today. They combined 30 experts, top mock drafts, and this is the consensus top 5. Cam Ward 1, Travis Hunter to the Browns 2, Abdul Carter 3 to the Giants. Your Patriots taking baby arm Will Campbell. 5, Mason Graham. 6 with the Raiders to take Ashton Genty. Jets take Amen Membu. Panthers take Jalen Walker. Saints take Shador Sanders at number 9. And then Bears take Kelvin Blanks Jr. At number 10. So of those picks, Casino, do you think so? The big again, we've said this is a weak draft. The 4 big names in this draft are Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Ashton Genty, and then you can put Shador Sanders if you feel like it.
No, it's those 4, and then that's it.
Yeah,
because Shador Sanders, he's got a name. That's all he is. He's a name.
Well, I don't know if you heard or not, but his number got retired at Colorado Casino. I don't know if you heard or not.
His dad probably paid like $5 million.
You know what?
For it.
I will say I'm not a what is it? This is getting very hot. I am not a Deion Sanders like hater or Shador Sanders hater. Shador Sanders' number being retired at Colorado, that's kind of dumb. Like it's dumb. It's ridiculous.
Did
like
Travis Hunter get his too?
Honestly, he's the one that should have. He got I think he did, but he got a Heisman. He at least like did something of merit at Colorado. Like I've seen, Deion like trying to do he took us from a losing program to a slightly less losing program.
Yeah, a mediocre program.
That one's weird to me. I will defend oh, dad loves his son, hypes up his son, but having your son's number retired.
Okay, LeBron, chill out.
Well, that's such a weird.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for a giggle from that.
Oh.
So we are short on time today. So
wait, we got 5 more minutes of draft Casino.
Okay, you got it.
I'm doing this.
You got a timeline?
Yeah.
Perfect.
But so
he's running a show. What? All right, continue.
We're doing 5 picks right now. So do where you think Cam Ward goes, where you think Travis Hunter goes, where you think Abdul Carter goes, who your team drafts, where you think Genty goes, and then where you think Shador goes. So we're actually doing 6 because we're including our teams in there.
Mm-hmm.
So Cam Ward, we both agree Titans.
Yep.
Right? So Titans, that's consensus. That's pretty much the only pick that is legit locked in. And again, if the Titans go on the clock at number 1 and they waste the entire 15 minutes or 10 minutes, I think they should automatically lose their second round pick. I cannot stand.
Well, they gotta make time for the show, dude.
I cannot stand when the team that gets the first overall pick and is known they're the first overall pick since the Super Bowl just takes up the whole clock. Like For what?
They're
You
doing
some
it
of
for
the
the suspense of
I
it's
hate it.
showmanship. Yeah.
I hate it.
Anyway, that's where he's going.
The next one, Travis Hunter. Where do you think he goes?
I think he goes to the Giants.
Ooh, I thought we were going to disagree. I also think he goes to the Giants. I don't know why there's this sudden surge of him going to the Browns, because I think Carter goes to the Browns.
Yep.
That just seems like the pick that the Browns want to do if they're not going to take a quarterback, which you and I both don't think they will.
I don't think they'll take a quarterback, and that's my reasoning on that. Is they've talked about two positions. They want either the edge or they want a quarterback. They're going to take Abdul Carter.
Yeah. I also just think like, okay, you get Travis Hunter on the Browns to do what exactly? If
But
he
it doesn't
plays
matter.
both positions,
It doesn't matter.
who's
They're
throwing
still-
in the
they're-
ball? Like,
Yeah, it wouldn't, and you know what? That wouldn't have surprised me even if it went that way because they're just dumb. They're just a
Well,
dumb organization.
yeah, that's true. And also, I could see any team really, when it comes to Travis Hunter, rationalizing like well, it's 2 picks in 1, like that whole thing. So,
Yeah, you're gonna burn out that player. He won't even finish out his rookie contract.
yeah. For your team, do you think they take Will Campbell, or
think
you
they
think they
take Will.
trade back?
I think they take Will Campbell. I know there's other good offensive tackles out there, but I think we take Baby Arms because if anybody, the only other offensive tackle that I would say that we would want would be Armand Membu. But if I don't see him going too far back. I mean, we wouldn't have to trade. We would have to still be within the top 10, I think, to get Membu.
You know what? This is going to be my hot take for the draft. I think you guys trade back with the Raiders, so the Raiders can leapfrog the Jaguars and take Genty, because now I've seen a bunch of mock drafts where the Jaguars apparently are taking Genty.
Yes.
So
that's what I see right here too as I'm looking at this. But I mean that could be the thing, but I don't know.
Because again, if you're saying Membu, I feel like you guys would trade back just enough.
But the Raiders also need an offensive tackle, man.
Yeah, but I don't feel like they do that. Or even then, they trade with them to get Campbell. Then you guys get Membu and maybe like a 3rd round pick. Like, I mean, but that's the next question.
It's just who do you like more with the offensive tackle?
Yeah. So I'm saying trade back with your Patriots.
I'm going to say Will Campbell.
Last 2, Genty. You think he goes to Jags, Raiders? I've also seen Bears. I've seen Cowboys.
I think he'll make it to the Raiders. I don't know what the Jags are going to do. I don't know who they would take, but I do think, I do think that they'll take somebody else and leave Genty for the Raiders.
Yeah,
I mean they could even take Membu because realistically, they could use that to help protect Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, but when it comes to the Raiders, we forget their new head coach is Pete Carroll. How Carroll won was with a running game. And if he gets Genty, that's his new beast mode. Geno Smith is, budget Russell Wilson, and then you just try to recreate what you had in Seattle. I mean, it's the only formula that's worked for him.
Yeah, that's a good call.
So I'm also going Genty to the Raiders. Last one, Shedeur Sanders. So he has been linked to everyone from the Browns, the Giants, the Saints, and the Steelers. And then, there's some random ones in there I've seen where it's like, oh, could the Dolphins potentially take him as a tour replacement? Could the Colts finally take him and put like the nail in the coffin for Anthony Richardson? Who you got, Casino? Where's he going?
If he doesn't get picked up by the Saints, I think he drops till Pittsburgh.
But do you think Saints or Pittsburgh take him?
One of those two teams will pick him.
Well, yeah, but the game is you got to choose one.
Well, okay, then I'll say the Saints because they need a quarterback too.
Ooh, okay.
So unless Pittsburgh moves up somehow,
I really think he goes to Pittsburgh. I don't think
you think the Saints will pass and pick somebody else.
I think the Saints, if they go quarterback, I think they might take Jackson Dart. I really think
I would love if Jackson Dart goes above him.
Well, because again, when you think of the drafts every year, remember Patrick Mahomes fell to the middle of the 1st round because the Bears with the 3rd or 4th picked Mitchell Trubisky. Like in that same draft, we always see the quarterback nobody has on their board go like top 10. That happens all the time. So if the Saints all of a sudden, and you can already see it, where it's like the announcers and stuff are like, oh, well, the Saints need a quarterback, especially with the Derek Carr like injury news. Or is this where Sanders goes off the board? And then you can just hear, like, they're going to be all talking Sanders. Then it's going to be Dart, and they're going to be like, well, the first surprise of the draft, and you can see it in your mind. I'm painting you a picture. I think
if you get all these right, dude.
But yeah, I'm going to.
You should submit this video.
I'm picking Sanders to go to Pittsburgh. I just think that makes the most sense. It's also would be a good fit. It'd be an interesting fit. Like, why would the Steelers not do it? They always have a good defense. They just traded for Metcalf. They're going to really go into the season with who at their quarterback? Who is even their quarterback right now? It's Mason Rudolph.
Is it?
That's who they're. Let me look.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Because I know he came back, and it's Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson. So I'll tell you what, I'm not a huge Shedeur Sanders fan. I don't know if he'll even be a bust or what, but I'd
rather try than Rudolph.
Yeah, I take him 10 out of 10 over Mason Rudolph.
We know what we got with Rudolph, so
which is a nothing burger. A nothing burger.
Yeah.
The only person he's good against is Myles Garrett. But that's because he uses weapons. But next up. So as far as the rest of the draft, last one is my Eagles.
Who cares?
There's only been 3 things I've ever seen them being picked, or 3 things of them being mock draft to pick. It's either offensive lineman, defensive lineman, or a tight end. Those are the only 3 things I've ever seen them pick. If we can get the tight end out of LSU, I would love that. But I would also like to keep Goddard. I don't think that happens. I like Goddard, but he is a little injury prone. So give me, Give me a offensive tackle, an edge rusher. I've seen also James Pierce Jr. No, we don't need corners. We got Cooper DeJean. You ever heard of him? Ever heard of him, Casino?
Nah.
Oh,
it sounds like some white boy.
But remember, he locked down your number one, like that song. But there also, I could see.
It was longer than 5 minutes, by the way.
I know. I would love James Pierce Jr. I'd love a defensive edge rusher or defensive tackle. Also, sneaky pick Malachi Starks, the safety from Georgia. Keep drafting all those Georgia players. I would also like that to replace CJ Gardner-Johnson. So there we go. We'll see the draft tonight. And we'll talk about it on Tuesday, maybe. But
Tuesday.
If anything shocking happens, we'll have to do an emergency show tomorrow. But I don't think this draft warrants emergency shows. Again, unless something crazy happens or somebody big gets traded. But now, let's touch base on NHL, NBA. NBA had 3 of the worst playoff games I've ever seen in my life last night. The Warriors Rockets was almost over 5 minutes into the game because Jimmy Butler got knocked out, didn't return, and then the Rockets just went on a run, blew them out. Cavaliers Heat ended up being a 9-point game. Most of that game was like 20-point to 25-point lead by the Cavaliers. Magic Celtics, I watched all of. I only watched the highlights of Heat Cavaliers. I'm not watching that game. I'm not watching that series. Celtics Magic, that one also was a blowout for most of it. Jason Tatum was out of the game.
And that's the crazy part.
Well, yeah, he was out of the game.
They played better without him. But they typically do, actually. Statistically, they play better without Jason Tatum. But in a long run, you still would want Jason Tatum there.
Yeah.
Because he does other things on the court than just score.
Also against this Magic team, they're not gonna need him. That's gonna be a sweep. And then
apparently it was like a bone bruise that he got on his wrist.
Yeah. And also, if Jimmy Butler is out for the Warriors for the foreseeable future, the Warriors lose this series and the Rockets go on to the next round. And Lakers Timberwolves was a fun game. Lakers, honestly, the defense is what was most impressive in that game because their defense was next level. But again, it's so funny how people were like, oh, well, Timberwolves are down 0-1. Let's not make any, or Timberwolves are up 1-0. Let's not make any, rash decisions. It's only game 1. And then literally after game 2, now everybody's like, Lakers are winning the finals. They're going to the final. It's like, how come we couldn't make rash judgments after one game, but after a second game, it's like, now all the hot takes come in. Thunder, we did not mention this. They have the most the biggest point lead in the first 2 rounds of a playoffs in NBA history. So the first game they won by 50 points. They won against the Grizzlies in game 1, 131-80. And then the next one they won by 20. So again, they've won the first 2 games by a combined 70 points, which is incredible. And then last one, Pacers Bucks. Again, it's a good series. Pacers are up 2-0, which is surprising to me, but I don't really care about that series at all. Last one. Oh yeah, we already talked about that one. So yeah, tonight, again, it's Knicks Pistons. Great game. Going to be watching that one. Thunder's Grizzlies. I will not watch a second of that. And then Nuggets Clippers on NBA TV, which again, the dumbest thing ever. Thunder Grizzlies should be on NBA TV.
I know I'm going to get people asking to change that. I don't know if we have NBA TV.
You probably don't. Nobody has NBA TV. It's dumb. But now over to the NHL casino. What's going on?
Yeah. So we had most of our game 2s happen since we talked last. And as I expected, the couple teams that I expected to be up in front for the Cup favorites are up there. You do have the Hurricanes, who look really good against the Devils. They're up 2-0 on that series, and they've been winning those games, not by like blowout fashion, but handedly. You watch the games, and it's just like, okay, yeah, they're a superior team. The Panthers did blow out. We finally had that first game. They blew out the Lightning 6-2, which is kind of funny because you do have their goalkeeper, the Lightning goalkeeper, Vasilevsky, apparently being talked about as having a resurgence again, like he always does in the playoffs, but that did not come to light. So that's pretty funny there. The Capitals did win again against the Canadiens 3-1. Ovechkin just looks like he's on a mission to win another cup, and I think he retires again after this. The Maple Leafs doing what they're doing. They're taking care of that Battle of Ontario. They won 3-2, so it wasn't any crazy fashion. Still a close game, but I don't think the Senators can edge them out in the close games. The Kings-Oilers, those are still pretty fun, high-scoring games. The Kings, between 2 games, have scored 12 points, 12 goals, which is nuts. First game was 6-5. Now we had 6-2. I'm really happy the Oilers don't make it, even if the Knights don't go on. The fact that the Oilers don't, and Connor McDavid, who was drafted number 1 overall before Jack Eichel, who the Knights acquired from Buffalo, and then won in his first year with the Knights the Stanley Cup. Connor McDavid has still yet to win a cup, and it's really fucking great. And he's considered the best player in the league for a handful of years, so really funny. With that, still the best series is the Stars Avalanche. You've had their last 2 games. Dallas does lead 2-1. Last 2 games have gone to overtime, which does make me feel good about my pick of Dallas winning the whole thing this year, because they've won 2 overtime games already. Yes, they're playing long games. They're going into overtime, but that shows you they can come in clutch. So, yeah, I'm pretty set there. We do have the third game between the Golden Knights and the Wild. It was surprising to see the Golden Knights drop one at home. They lost 5-2, but it all came down to that first period. I feel like they came out flat since they somebody said it on the radio show when I was driving into work that the Knights' first game kind of looked like they were having a scrimmage. Yes, it seemed close, but they had control of the game. And I think they probably got a little lackadaisical against the Wild, who, again, their 2 stars are back from injury, and they're starting to get it. And they definitely showed it when they played in game 2. So we'll see how that goes on from here on out. Hopefully the Knights do not go down 2-1 in that series, and they can steal one on the road, hopefully this first game, so we can have it back to home ice advantage for the Golden Knights, and they could possibly win it back at home. So that's kind of where we're at. The other games that are going to be happening today, you also have the Florida Panthers taking on the Lightning for Game 2. Then you also have the Maple Leafs and Senators playing their game. What other game do we have today?
Last night,
Blues and Jets.
Last night I watched that Kings Oiler game. That was like the NBA games. That was over almost immediately.
Well, I told you, like the Kings, and same with the Knights game, dude, the other day, 2 days ago. But yeah, the Kings Oilers, like I told you, they are 2 high offensive teams that kind of worries me, because that's who the Knights will play next if they can get through the Wild. And I would much rather play the Kings than the Oilers, even though the Kings have had a good record against us this year. I think we pretty much split with them, the Golden Knights and the Kings. So, with that being said, go Knights. Go Knights. The Jets are going to womp the Blues again. And actually, tonight I think the Blues might take tonight because it's their first game back home. So possibly, and we'll see how that rolls on out.
All right. Yeah, nothing much really going on in the first round outside of, I feel like second round is when we're really going to start getting some juices flowing for both the NBA and NHL, because again, if literally Lakers and Lakers Timberwolves, it really feels like it's going to be one of those series where each team just blows out the other one, and then it gets to game 7 and everyone's hyped, and then it's just another blowout. That feels like what series that one's going to be. But now, Casino, without further ado, we are doing our top 10 list for today. And as I teased at the beginning of the show, let me just put up the intro right here, which is, it is our top 10 favorite players drafted by our teams. As you can tell by the jerseys behind us or on the side of us, I am an Eagles fan. Casino is a Patriots fan. How will we ever get along? I don't know. But
yeah, we didn't talk for 2 weeks after that Super Bowl. So
yeah.
The first one we were still a little too young. And we didn't know each other at that point.
No, 2004.
Because we met in high school.
Well, 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we weren't in high school till, oh no, well, you were in high school in 2004. Or you weren't. I was. I was a freshman.
I was 8th grade.
So yeah, it would be in the next year. And then I shoved your head in a toilet, and I was just like, how dare your team take away?
We be friends?
And that's how our friendship started. But so, as we discussed earlier, Casino's number 10 is actually Teddy Bruschi, because he didn't realize that Teddy Bruschi was drafted by our team.
I'm a fucking idiot.
But co-sharing your number 10 is Adam Vinatieri, and I made these nice little slides for everybody watching. Or actually, I don't even want to looking at that camera. We'll never cut to that camera because it'll just be this. But the 10, or I made these little graphics. So this is Casino's number 10. He was undrafted.
Yep.
He's a 4-time Super Bowl champion and the only player to score 1,000 points for 2 different franchises, that being the Patriots and the Colts.
He still holds the record for the most points scored in the NFL of all time, which is awesome. Which, by the way, there's no picture showing up on my thing.
Yeah, it's on here. But, or you mean for this?
No, I mean like on our screen, I just see a blank black screen.
Oh no, it's up here. But what is it? He also, I didn't realize this. He played longer for the Colts than he did the Patriots.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, but he did win the 3 Super Bowls with the Patriots.
Yeah, and then he won one with the Colts.
Yeah, he's awesome. So I know he wasn't drafted by the Patriots, but he was picked up by the Patriots because after he got out of college, he went and played in a American Football League in Europe. He played for the Amsterdam Armadas, I believe it was. And yeah, they picked him up in 1996, and the rest was history. And he made history. So Adam Vinatieri. And then Teddy Bruschi, again, that's my bad for saying he's my favorite player and not knowing. I really did not know that he was drafted by the Patriots. It blew over my mind. Fuck off. Anyway, I mean, he was one of the cornerstones. There's another player on my list as well for that Super Bowl, 3 Super Bowls in the 4 years run that they had. And he also dealt with cancer, and he came back from that, and he continued playing. He's an awesome player, awesome guy, and he's great on doing sports commentary on TV. So love Teddy Bruschi. He's great.
There you go. Now, Casino, pull up number 9.
How do I?
You forgot it's on your. Yeah.
Yeah.
I sent you a private chat.
But you didn't tell me that's how I had to do this. Let's see this.
Yeah, since we're doing it in the studio, I have so many things plugged into this computer that I didn't have a spot for the flash drive that has this, so Casino has to pull them up. So that's why it's going to be delayed. But next up, number 9. This is Ramondre Stevenson. Casino's wearing the jersey. He was drafted in that says 2001. He was not drafted in
No,
2001.
he was not
He
drafted in 2001.
2021.
There it is.
And round 4, pick 120. The best and most interesting fact about him is he went to Casino and I's high school.
Yeah, he had classes with my little brother, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. So I mean, that's I only have this jersey, which I will never wear again because I wore it the one time. I've worn it once since that Super Bowl. This Tom Brady jersey, and I will never wear it again because it has the patch on the front. That's why it's facing the back. The only other jersey I have is Ramondre Stevenson, just because he went to our high school. I'm not a jersey guy. Never have been.
You know what? I'm not either.
And the only other jersey that I have, I actually have two. I have Kurt Schilling's for baseball, and then I also have Derek England for the Golden Knights because he did play minor league hockey here, and I got to watch him play with the Vegas Wranglers before he ended up playing for the Knights, which is pretty cool.
The only time I ever wear a jersey is during game time.
Yeah, I only have 3 jerseys.
Yeah.
So
I was shocked to see you in a jersey today.
I know. I knew we were doing this, and he's on my list, so I had to pick it.
And also, he was named MVP of the 2020 Cotton Bowl when he went to Oklahoma against Florida.
Oh, Oklahoma.
18 carries, 186 yards, 1 touchdown. There you go. Number 8 on this list, Casino.
Moving on. Oh, God damn it. I got to get used to this, but you got to. There, I'll load up the next few, I think. Yeah. But you got to make space for those. All right?
No. Oh, actually, I just realized I can't kick those, so you have to take those off.
Okay.
You click on the little
Remove
3
from
dots.
studio. I got you. Now pull it up.
Number 8 on this list. And also, I don't have your list in front of me, so you're going to have to say these players' names. Because
okay. Yeah.
Pull number
it on
8.
Sorry. It's
not so easy, is it, Casino?
No, this is not as fun as I thought it was going to be. Well, he spurred this on me. He was like, oh, by the way, you're going to be running all the media for this episode. And he just threw it to me. Anyway. All right. So here we go. And this is my boy, number 54, Dante Hightower. Outstanding. Love the guy. He single-handedly helped basically, I mean, single-handedly. Tom Brady did a lot of that, but he was the turning point when it came to that Falcons Super Bowl. He got that strip sack. He is as it says here, won 3 Super Bowls. He is an outstanding player. I love him. He's just great. I mean, he was a first-round pick, and it actually panned out well, which was a great thing. He's been to multiple Super Bowls, not just the 3 that he won. He is a absolute stud of a player.
He was such a stud. He started as a true freshman at Alabama, and then he retired with the Patriots with 1 interception for 27 yards.
Yeah, he doesn't need it. He commanded that defense, so he did not need to do much, but he commanded that. And I do have number 7 coming on up, and this is the worst. I hate doing this. Right, I'm gonna
number 7.
This is stupid.
I know who this is. This is Richard Seymour. Seymour. He was drafted in 2001, round 1, pick 6. He's a 7-time Pro Bowler. He won 3 Super Bowls. And a little fun fact about him, he owns 0.05% of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah. And what I love about him, this is what I was talking about with him and like Teddy Bruschi, is cornerstone of that defense, dude. Yeah. He was the other stone. He was the other corner of that stone for that defense. Just stout player. I mean, the numbers speak for himself. Not only did he win the 3 Super Bowls with the Patriots, but he was also a 7-time Pro Bowler. Outstanding guy. Another first-round pick. He was the number 6 overall. So definitely panned out well. So early on, so everybody gives Belichick bad drafting. He's drafted some
dude. I'll tell you what.
Studs.
I was going through your guys like the Patriots draft years or whatever. They might have not nailed it past the 2nd round, but those first 2 rounds during the dynasty, the first and second dynasty, they were just hitting it out of the park. I mean, they obviously got some.
With these slides, you did some research on them.
I did. I said I put them together, and I was very proud of them. Next up, Casino, number 6.
One of my all-time favorite players. He's easily just like top 6. See what I did there? Top 6. I love this guy so much. Yeah. So Matthew Slater, outstanding player. He's one of, if not the best special teams player to ever play football. He's got the record for the most Pro Bowls for a special teams player. He won 3 Super Bowls. He was a cornerstone. He was always sitting next to Tom Brady in all the flights. His locker was right next to him. He is just the guy. And I love that little nitbit down there. 1 block punt, touchdown, fumble, and reception.
He had one of each of those.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
But yeah, he was drafted in 2008, round 5, pick 153.
So good.
And also, when you
the
think...
thing is, a 10-time Pro Bowler for special teams, he holds that record.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Well, also, you think of like the quintessential Belichick guy. Like, Belichick is so interested in special teams and like the minutia of football. This is like a Bill Belichick
he is the
guy.
Dude. Love him. And he would always do the speeches beforehand, before games. He was one of 2 players that would always do the speeches. He's just awesome. Love him.
And also on Julian Edelman's podcast, he actually had a really good interview. Julian Edelman's podcast, I actually really like.
Julian Edelman's
It's
great.
not a football or sports podcast because obviously we're the only sports podcast, but whatever they're talking about over there, I enjoy it. Number 5 casino.
I saw the picture you have for one coming up.
Number 5.
Yeah, so we got Devin McCourty, one of the twins. He's an amazing player. Again, another 3-time Super Bowl champ. There's a lot of Super Bowls with the Patriots guys. Another first-round pick that did pan out. 2-time Pro Bowler, which I can't believe is that low.
I know.
And he is a twin brother, 13th set of twins to play together.
So him and his brother got traded to the Patriots, and then they became the 13th set of twins.
What's the
to play
craziest
together.
story is, like, I got choked up, honestly, when they started playing together because they played together in Pee Wee. They played together, obviously, through middle school, high school. They even played collegiate at Rutgers together. And then when they went to the draft, he got drafted by the Patriots. And then Jason McCourty, sadly, he went to the Browns, and he had a horrible, horrible season, horrible life over there. And I remember watching a video where Devin, when he wanted to get Jason on the team, right? He went to Belichick. He goes, you know what's better than 1 McCourty? 2 McCourtys. And Belichick apparently just like giggled and like smiled at him. And then the next day, apparently they had him ready to go, and he was like, yeah, we're gonna have your brother join the team. So when he called his brother, Jason was like, stop fucking with me. He's like, he's like, no, you're gonna come play with me in New England. And then they won a Super Bowl, and Jason McCourty was probably the reason the Patriots won that game against the Rams, because he made that most outstanding where Cooks was just standing in the end zone. You remember that one?
Yeah.
Jason comes out of nowhere and knocks it down.
That is true.
That was Jason McCourty, and that was an outstanding play because he was wide open. It wasn't blown coverage. That's how it was expected to be, but Jason had to get there. They had ran that play plenty of times, and Jason knew that if he got loose, that he would have to make it there, and he did. So that Jason McCourty helped win us the Super Bowl that year. He won it with his brother. That was pretty cool. But Devin, he's great, and Devin's doing awesome on TV.
I was gonna say
he's
good on TV.
He's amazing on TV.
Yeah.
Again, he was
good.
also the other guy that did all the speeches along with Matthew Slater. So
there you go.
And it shows.
Number 4 casino.
Oh, what a doof.
Rob Gronkowski, 2010, round 1, pick 27. He is a 5-time Pro Bowler, won 4 Super Bowls, obviously 3 with the Patriots, 1 with the Buccaneers. He has 2 records for tight ends. He has the most receiving touchdowns in a season by a tight end with 17, and then the most total touchdowns in a season by a tight end with 18, because one of them was rushing. So,
I mean, talking about this guy, what else can you say? He's on the Mount Rushmore of tight ends.
Oh yeah,
100%.
I think he's still the best tight end to ever do it.
Oh, really?
I would have him number 1. Who would be?
I like Tony Gonzalez, but Tony Gonzalez doesn't have the same amount of pedigree with the Super Bowls and all that stuff. But I don't know. I've just always liked Tony.
See, that's how I always feel about Antonio Gates.
I've
always liked Antonio Gates.
Yeah,
but I feel like those are the 4.
I've always loved Tony Gonzalez. So I don't know.
But see, that's the 4, right? Gronk, Kelsey, Gates, Gonzalez.
Probably.
Maybe Shannon Sharp is 5th, but not. We'll talk about Shannon Sharp eventually. but number 4, yeah. What else can you say about Gronk? Everybody knows how great. Number 3, casino.
Another first round pick, right? And another first round pick.
Yeah.
Vince Wilfork. I love this guy. He's just the best. So first round, he was picked 23rd.
Pick 21st.
Or 21st, but in 2004. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler, helped win the Patriots 2 Super Bowls. He was voted into the Patriots Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. He was one of the biggest players to ever play, and he has multiple interceptions. And I don't know if he ever got one into the touchdown.
He did not.
He was real close multiple times. But he has
There's that famous one where he picked off Phillip Rivers.
Yeah,
and
I think he's He's got three interceptions.
I want to say yes.
Vince Wilfork interceptions. Did you ever watch him play often? I mean, did you notice him on the field? Obviously, it's kind of hard.
He's giant.
Dude,
it's crazy to think that.
Yeah, I was right. He had 3 interceptions, dude. If you want to see a fat man run with the ball, and these interceptions were good.
Yeah,
these were all good.
That Phillip Rivers ones.
They weren't just like popped up and he grabbed it and ran. Like there was one where he's in full blocking and he just reaches out, one hands it, brings it in, pushes the guy that he was trying to get by down and just runs. It's outstanding.
Also, if you have a defensive tackle on your team, you want him to look like Vince Wilfork.
Yeah.
Just like a tall, fat guy who always wears overalls. That's what you want your defensive tackles.
Did you see his goodbye video when he retired?
I did not.
So essentially it's him walking into the locker room. It's very somber. Well, I'll try to find it for you.
Is that the one where he's in overalls?
Yeah, and then he hangs up his cleats, and then after he hangs up his cleats, he grabs the tongs, and then it like goes to like real fun, and he's out barbecuing, just overalls, no t-shirt, and he's over there, and he's like, "Now I put up the cleats, and now I'm barbecuing," and it's really funny. He does a heel click at the end of the dude's 300 pounds, and he does a heel click. I'm like, this is great.
Very athletic.
It was one of my favorite farewell videos of all time, if not the best.
Number 2, Casino. Many are going to be surprised it's not your number 1, but your number 2 is the GOAT, Tom Brady. Let's read some interesting facts about Tom Brady. In the 2000 draft, he was drafted pick 199 in round 6. He's a 3-time NFL MVP, 5-time Super Bowl MVP, won 7 Super Bowls, has 11 NFL records, and most importantly, he kisses his son on the mouth. So talk about your GOAT. He's right next to you.
Yeah, dude.
I'm talking about me.
Yeah. When he got drafted, he told Jonathan Kraft, "This is the best decision you've ever made in your life." And like, it's true. He just had the work ethic. That was the thing. That was his whole thing. And when he was playing for Michigan and playing for the other college, like, he just couldn't get past. They wanted the guy that was in shape. They wanted somebody that was a little more flashy. Tom Brady was never flashy. He was just a student of the game. Yeah. And that's what made him so good in the NFL. And that's why a lot of these athletic guys who do go to the NFL, they don't make it. He's a student of the game. Yeah. It doesn't matter his size, doesn't matter. He cares about winning football games, and he will find a way to win. So, won 7 Super Bowls. He's the GOAT.
And then I knew this would be your number 1. Number 1, Julian Edelman. He was drafted in 2009, round 7, pick 232, which is crazy. Won 3 Super Bowls, was the Super Bowl MVP in, what is that, 42, I believe?
Yeah.
42. He has 2 podcasts. No, not 42. Is L?
What's
L is 40, right?
I don't know.
We just need to stop it with the Roman numerals. But he was the Super Bowl MVP, has 2 podcasts, which, according to us, is the highest honor you can possibly have. Not 1, but 2 podcasts, so he doubles us. And the most interesting fact about him is...
it was the one with the Rams. He caught 10 passes for 141 yards, and it was whatever that Super Bowl is. It still's not telling me.
But never selected to a Pro Bowl. That's crazy. And this is my question with Julian Edelman, because, besides him having...
There's 3 there, so it was Super Bowl 53.
Oh, 53. Yeah, okay, so L is 50. Got it.
It was like, yeah, that's... No, that's way insane.
I don't know. I can't read Roman numerals. But never selected to a Pro Bowl. Do you think he gets into the Hall of Fame?
Sadly, I don't think he gets into the Hall of Fame. I really don't, but he should get in the Hall of Fame. Too.
Yeah.
Because he has the most receptions
outside the postseason.
Postseason until Travis Kelce just beat him.
Yes.
Right? And that alone right there. That on top of Super Bowl MVP, that should get you into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Maybe obviously you're not going to be a first round, but dude, he joined as a quarterback, and they turned him into a special teams returner.
Kent State quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he was a returner, and then he turned himself into a slot receiver after watching Wes Welker for years.
Well, also
So
that's
another thing is, and why he's number one is he put in the effort, he put in the work to get to where he was.
Yeah.
Again, he was a quarterback, then he was used as special teams returner, and then worked his way into a slot receiver and being Tom Brady's number one guy. So that's insane because Tom Brady's very selective on who he wants to be throwing to. And he was drafted by the Patriots and retired as a Patriot. And that's why I love this guy so much. I cried during his farewell video. It was a single chair in the middle of Foxborough at night with the lights on. He sits down, and he goes, first thing he says, "I told you that I would go until the wheels fell off. Well, the wheels have fallen off." And I was just like, yeah, no.
And also on his
fun fact, my friends met him.
Was he cool or a douche?
He met him in the pisser. He was cool about
it. But no, on his podcast,
you know who I'm talking about. Palma.
He actually had Bill O'Brien on, and Bill O'Brien was talking about how Belichick came to him in his office for the pre-draft, like when they were scouting players, and he handed him like tape on Julian Edelman and said, "Oh, that's cool," and said, but he handed him tape on Julian Edelman and said, "Listen, this guy is a quarterback at Kent State. We're not drafting him to play quarterback. Find out a position he can play." And then that's where they started putting him at special teams, got him reps at wide receiver. And again, maybe his best honor, he has 2 podcasts. One of them I listened to, and it's actually pretty good. So that, Casino, was your top 10 favorite players drafted by your team, which is the New England Patriots. On Tuesday, after all the draft fallout, we will talk about my team and my top 10 favorite players. Also, for anybody who has issues, I only started watching football in 2009. Or not 2009, 1999.
Right.
Casino, you started watching football when?
About when I was 10, 11.
Yeah.
So it was right about when Tom Brady started.
Yeah. So there's not going to be anybody from like
when I started really following it.
Yeah. So there's not going to be anybody from like the 70s or 80s or 90s, because obviously that's before our time. And it's weird to be like, oh, I like this guy who was drafted, had his entire career retired.
There's a guy for the Patriots that apparently is one of the best offensive lineman players of all time. Never won a Super Bowl, but he's projected as one of the best offensive linemen of all time. Not on my list.
Yeah.
Just don't know.
Same with me. Like, I love Harold Carmichael and Randall Cunningham and looking at those highlights. But again, they weren't playing when I was watching, so I don't have that type of like connection to them. Right. So,
fun fact, Cunningham went to UNLV.
He did. Yeah. And I think he still holds the record for longest punt.
Yeah. I've actually met him. Not like, hey, how's it going? And like him know my name, but because his kid was doing the high jump. And so he was around a lot of meets when I was running track, and he was
he's also I think he lives out here, and he's a pastor, I believe.
Yeah.
But
a high jump coach was. I don't know what he's doing now. I don't think he's involved with track anymore, but
I think my parents also met him and said he was like really nice, and so I've only ever heard good things about him. So
nice guy.
You know what? He's number 11 on my list. There you go. But... All
right. I had a hard out at 2. It is 2:05. I have the hard on later today. You won't be here for that. Anyway, that was stupid.
This has been the Only Sports Podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. Back in the studio. Hopefully back here every Thursday. And we will be back after the draft and to talk about the NBA and NHL playoffs. Also, I want to talk about Shannon Sharp that is going on Tuesday. So we'll talk about all that on Tuesday. Only Sports Podcast, Will Casino. Adios.
Bye.